What are you doing, Lee?
About to strip down of a mankini, Steve.
Oh, thank goodness, that's not going to happen. I think he might be sighting the rifle. And why is that, Lee?
I've just loaded some rounds and I'm not 100%.
It pays to check, doesn't it, mate?
Bloody oath it
Because
does.
as much as that little 222 of his at Seiko is absolutely dynamite, every now and then you just get that shot that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
First you just question yourself, but then when it starts to happen quite often, or more often, you do need to double check it. So they do cop a bit of a hiding. As much as it's a nice rifle, they're bouncing around on the bikes, in vehicles and whatever. So it does pay to double check. So the 222, 50 grain projectiles?
Yeah, 50 grain VMAX.
50 grain.
24.4.
Oh, don't give them away your secrets.
Oh, it's no secret anyway.
Benchmark 2.
Yeah.
Um,
And Benchmark 2 primers.
yeah, where are you going? We know the rifle is safe, but we must double check. No.
You shouldn't touch my rifle anyway.
I'm going to tell you.
Hey.
Anyway, so where are you going to sight it? What height?
Inch
Come
and a
on.
half high at 100.
Inch and a half high at 100 yards.
38 mil.
38 mil, he's got the metric equivalent. So we've just got to sight it at that. That's what's worked for us over the years. Probably off the top of my head, that's probably running around 3,300 feet a second, give or take 50. And with a inch and a half high point of impact at 100 yards, you should be somewhere around the 200, 210 yard zero. And again, don't quote me, but somewhere probably around the 5 to 6 inches low, around the 250, 260 yards. So it makes it a very flexible sort of all-round load for vermin, foxes, whatever. But it's worked well for us. So why would you change it, Lee? What are you doing? He's doing a little bit of grass work. He reckons his blade of grass is going to put his bullet off now.
Bit of farming.
Righto. You could have put another pair of pants on.
Too much crack? Firing. Firing.
When you're sighting your rifle, testing loads or whatever, or more importantly, sighting the rifle in this case, never just have one shot and then go and look in your target and adjust. Always fire a minimum of 2 and adjust from the average, because it'll do 2 things. One, it'll give you an idea of the average or how well it's shooting, and 2, it takes any doubt out of your mind that your first shot was a bad one or a good one and your second one's a bad one. So after those 2 shots, well, he's actually done a third. Just to be,
3 shots.
3 shots.
Yeah.
We'll walk down now and we'll just check the...
Walk?
Yeah.
I didn't buy a bike so I could walk 100 yards.
You lazy bugger. Well, at least I'll walk down there. Double check he's not telling me fibs. We'll see what sort of group he's getting out of this 222.
You've got to keep the heart rate low, you see?
Let's see where this thing's hit. I can tell now it looks like shit.
I had an idea that the load was shooting left, but I didn't realise it was shooting so low. However, that shot, no, that could have been me, I'd be perfectly honest. So what I'll do is I'll go back and throw another one or two at it, and if I have to move it up, then I'll do just that. My biggest problem is I often take longer shots than 200, so therefore this distance here is going to expand out and they're misses.
Yeah, exactly, and not only that, because you're not going above your line of sight basically, because that's at 100 yards. 100 yards you've set it to?
Yeah.
So at 100 yards you want that to, point of impact, like we said, inch and a half, or 38 mil high.
Yeah.
Purely so you get above that line of sight. Probably you're actually going to cross it probably somewhere, look again, don't quote me, somewhere around the 50 yards mark, somewhere
50,
around there.
yeah.
You're going to be maybe 40 yards, you're going to be crossing your line of sight first, and then you'll hit it back again, like I said, at 200 yards. So in this scenario, with that being sort of virtually level, or point of impact is dead on as far as height at 100, what's going to happen now is all your shots are just going to drop down further. So in other words, instead of being dead on at sort of 200, you're probably going to end up being 3 or 4 inches low at 200 with that sort of curve in your trajectory and where your trajectory meets the line of sight. So it is very important. So you're walking this time.
I need to let the barrel cool.
All right. Then you need to do more to that barrel than just let it cool. Hey, what's going on there? What's going on there?
Oh, you must have shook that log before I left.
Are you comfortable in your shooting position? Because it's a very important thing. Try and sight your rifle. If you do not feel solid, you don't feel solid in your shooting position, there's a good chance it's not going to work out well for you. So I'll ask you again, do you feel good in that position? I'm waiting for an excuse.
There was one shot I didn't, I'll be honest, but that's...
Because that last shot is almost where it's got to be.
Exactly, yeah.
It's almost where it's got to be. Now the next thing I'll ask you, have you cleaned that rifle properly?
Thoroughly.
Properly.
No, that's what took me a little while before I actually put something through it.
So what, have you cleaned it properly? I mean...
No, not properly.
Right.
No, not properly.
Those groups you would expect out of a machine gun.
Hey, that's pretty good for a machine gun.
This is typical now of when you actually start to get issues with the groups with a rifle that you've known that have shot extremely well before. As much as the barrel's starting to get a bit older, it's still only maximum probably had 1,000 rounds through it, you reckon?
Oh, it's probably, well...
Maybe 1,000, 1,500 at the most, so it's got plenty of life yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, this is where a lot of people will sort of start to look for problems that aren't there. You could come back, set this up on a proper bench, or take it to a range on a proper bench, and then do exactly that. Put 5 shots in a half-inch hole sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, to me, you don't look 100% ideal here. It's quite warm, so
no, I don't make any excuses.
We might be chasing our tail, but it's just, look, bottom line is you have to put it in, have to look at it in a hunting situation. Exactly. And yeah, look, anything sort of 100, probably 150 yards, fox situation is going to be in trouble. But if you want to start to push it out, stretch it a bit, you need to shrink those groups.
Yeah, exactly.
Or get rid of that shaky finger.
I don't think it's a shaky finger problem, I'll be honest.